Hi everyone, Dave Major here. Thanks for coming and checking out the video. This is a video we're going to cover charting a song. This isn't a video I've seen on the internet. There are loads of guys out there doing some great videos teaching you how to play everything from the very basic beats to the most advanced ones. I will be covering some stuff, but I'm going to try and keep my videos more conceptual in terms of fills and grooves. And this one is about something that you'd use on the gig, or what you use to get your gig. So picture the scene. It's Monday morning and you got a call off a guy called John. Never met a guy before, he'd never played in his band, but he's got a wedding band and they're playing on Saturday night and they need a drummer. So they need a drummer to come in, learn all their songs, and that's 60 songs, let's say for argument's sake, and there's no rehearsal time. So what are you going to do? You've got 60 songs. Now you get emailed the list and you know 10 of those songs. So you know them, you've played them before, but you've got 50 left to learn in 5 days. So what are you going to do? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you my method of learning a vast set as quickly as possible by doing what everyone calls a cheat sheet. So what you need for this, you don't need any drumsticks or you don't need a drum kit. You need a blank piece of paper, pen, pencil, and a couple of highlighter pens. So what I like to do is, in my mind, I'll divide up the page into 3 sections. We've got a left, centre and right. On the left, you'll have all the information on the sections of the songs, the intros, choruses, verses, whatever. In the middle, we're going to have the number of bars and anything special about that. And in the right hand side, we're going to have any special details. It could be play on the ride cymbal, it could be play 16th notes in the hi-hats, it could be a specific rhythmic figure that you need to write down and remember. So the song I've chosen is off of most wedding band playlists, and you'll be asked to play this. So it's Blame It on the Boogie by the Jackson 5. So obviously at the top you want to write your title. So you want to write your title, Blame It. And we'll get the tempo at the end of the song, but it's always good to have, if you don't know the song, or you're not aware of it, and you haven't got it in your memory bank. So for instance, Back in Black, for instance, you could think of that song and you'll know the tempo, just singing the chorus or singing the intro riff. And that way you can count the band in to the right tempo. We'll get that at the end so that we've got the chart, and then we can just quite quickly tap out the tempo. So this is based on the assumption that you are quite familiar with quite a lot of styles and different drummers' ways of playing. So you know how John Bonham plays, not the notes, but how he plays. And also what for instance the difference between a James Brown funk and a Motown funk is, or all these different things. It's a shuffle, a Texas shuffle. The more stylistic knowledge you've got, the easier this is going to be for you to play each song totally accurately and totally effectively and convincingly. So obviously I'm going to have to listen to the song, and what I'll do is I'll make a chart while we're listening to the song. I'll be stopping it at different sections. As you get quicker at this, you can actually pretty much just do it on one listen, and this is great for in the studio as well. So this will be your cheat sheet, so you can go and do a session with 10, 15 songs and do them in 3 hours, 4 hours, instead of having to go home and learn all the material. So now straight away there's something there. There's that intro fill which starts the band off. Now that's quite a key thing to the song, so we're going to have to keep that in. So we'll work out where it is. So that was boom boom. So that is 1, 2, 3, a 4 and. There's a slight swing on the song. 1, 2, 3, a 4 and, but we can just write it as 16 notes. So that is 1, 2, 3, a 4 and that is 1/16 followed by 2 8th notes. A 4 and. Now for these kind of things, if it's a particularly complex rhythmic figure, you can actually write down how to count it. If this is your sheet, no one else is going to see it. I know that Greg Bissonet's cheat sheets look like the scribblings of a madman, but he knows what's going on there. Jeff Dugmore's are equally as incomprehensible, except to him. So as long as you can understand it, it's irrelevant what you use. And this is only the way that I do it, and the little nuances that I put on it. So we'll obviously start with the intro. So we've got an 8-bar intro, but on the 8th bar there's that little upbeat on beat number 4, so it's 4E and ah, and that's a little hit that the whole band does. If we missed that out, it wouldn't be the same song, so we need to include that. So I'll write a little I for intro, and what I do here is I write, instead of 8, I'll write 7 plus, and then I'll write out the bar. That's 3 beats of groove, and then the ah of 4E and ah, is a hit, which ties over, so ba ba da da ga. Now we're into the verse, obviously.
And wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't get no loving, and that's no lie. We spent the night in Frisco at every kind of disco. From that night I kissed our love goodbye. Don't blame it on the sunshine.
Again, we've got an 8-bar section, but in bars 4 and 8 we've got a little rhythmic figure again, which is the 1, the ah of 1, and the and of 2. So 1E and ah 2E and 1E and ah 2E and, which is a very common figure. It's the basis of a Baon rhythm. It is the Cuban triplet or tresillo. You'll see it everywhere. So just recognize that rhythm, and you'll hear it and you'll know exactly how to write it down. So what I'd do with that is it's actually 3 bars and then that rhythmic figure, and then that 4-bar repeated. So I'd write it as 3 plus the 1E and 2E and. Now in beats 3 and 4 we're filling as well, so it goes 1, 2 and 3 and 4E and or any sort of fill. So in beats number 3 I'll just write fill, and then I'll repeat that twice, so just a big times 2. You can see it on the sheet. The sheet will be attached to the PDF down below, so you can have a little look. So after that, we obviously have a chorus.
Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie.
8-bar chorus, pretty standard. So now we're now in another verse.
It bugs me, somehow it has drugged me. Spellbound rhythm gets me on my feet. I changed my life completely. I seen the lightning lead me. My baby just can't take her eyes off me. I don't blame it on the sunshine.
Verse that is the exact same as before. So instead of writing out the rhythmic figure, because we don't need to, because we've already written it out once, I would just write 3 plus 1 times 2. Now this may not make sense to you, and you can write it any way you want, but this is what makes sense to me.
I don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't you blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. I just can't.
So that was obviously an 8-bar chorus. We're into our section here. Now in a rehearsal room, or when you're practicing with a band, you might call a section something, and the guitar player might call it something else. So in order to make things quick and easy, I try and write down little notes in terms of what someone else is doing in this particular section. So this I would call a middle 8, but someone else might call it a pre-chorus because it comes before a chorus.
I just can't control my feet.
So I would probably write down just the lyric, I just can't, so that we know that when the singer's singing that, this is the section that we mean. So that's a middle A. Now if we ever listen to it, there's a couple of little hits that we need to do.
I just can't control my feet. I just can't control my feet.
So every second bar, there's a couple of little hits that the drummer's doing on the hi-hats, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4E. 1, 2, 3, and 4E. So well, let's write them in because they kind of add to they lock it in with the bass player in the brass section. So that is every second bar. So I would do it as 1 bar plus this bar where we're going to write the hits in. So it's 1 plus. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4E. So we're just grooving on beats 1 and 2. Then you've got 3 and 4E, which makes a lot of sense. And I've just written a little accent. And then, because obviously that's 2 bars and it's a middle 8 section, repeat that 4 times. Now let's see what happens after this.
I just can't control my feet. Sunshine, I don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't blame it on the good time.
Now by this stage you should be recognising that every chorus so far has been the same. Now it's kind of dangerous to assume that there's going to be an 8-bar chorus, but I know the song and it's an 8-bar chorus coming up. The amount of times that I've written down foolishly before listening to it, verse, chorus, and it's got a strange arrangement, all those extra bars, all those half bars. So try and not assume that it's going to be a specific length or a specific section.
I blame it on the boogie. I don't blame it on the sunshine. I don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't on the good times. I blame it on the boogie.
So now back into the intro riff. Let's see how long that is. Now in the intro, at the start it was 7 plus that bar with the hit on the A 4. Let's see if it's the same or if it's shorter or longer. So that was 4 bars in total, but it had the same hits. So it's just an intro, 3 plus 1, because we've got those hits. But instead of writing out the hits, I write as before, or I highlight it, or I put a little star or something, whatever you need to know, so it's the same thing. The highlighters will come in handy later. So after this, we've obviously got a verse. It's going to be 8 bars long.
The devil's got them to me. I don't blame it on the sunshine.
And another chorus. 8 bars.
Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Moonlight, yeah.
So we're now in the breakdown. I would call it a breakdown, where we've changed our beat from a straight 8th note groove to some 16th notes. And if you notice, the bass drum is now on 2 and 4 instead of 1 and 3 or all 4s. So it's almost like a reggae 1-drop kind of idea. Again, knowing your styles would help you just write that down really quickly so you know what to play. So in the breakdown, I would put in the right hand column of my sheet, I'd write some 16th notes in, and then I'm going to put a 2 and a 4 on the bass drum, just so I know, just so I can remember. Because if you've got 60 songs that you're playing in a night, you're not going to remember them all. And if you then go next weekend and do a different gig with a different band, they might have different songs as well. So you will eventually build up a repertoire, but there's no chance you're going to know 200 odd songs off the top of your head perfectly. So this is just going to help you play, do an even better job than you already would do.
Good times, boogie. You just got the sunshine, yeah. Moonlight, good times, boogie. Don't you blame it, sunshine. You just got.
So we've got an 8-bar bridge, and you're writing those little 16th notes.
Moonlight, you just wanna good times, yeah. Oh, blame it on yourself, sunshine.
Now in true Motown fashion, that is a fade out, and you can't do a fade out live, no matter how hard you try and how softly you play. So the band that you're playing with might have a specific ending, they might have hits. They might go back, I've played it before where we go back to the intro riff, or you could just have a sudden stop on one or anything. There's the sort of stock endings that you'll eventually get, and you'll pick up on them. Having a good ear is really, really important for depping and be able to adapt quickly. So we've got a chorus there, which is, for argument's sake, is a double length chorus. So it's 8 plus 8. It's not 16, or to me it's not 16, it's just the same thing twice instead of a full length thing. But if you want to write 16, feel free to write 16. There's also the disco upbeat hi-hat lifts. So incorporate that as well. So upbeat hi-hat lifts, that's all I'd write. So I know what to play. Now that's the song charted in, well, it took slightly longer as we were doing the video, but you could do it in one listen. So now we're going to apply the finishing touches to our chart, which will be highlighting specific figures or extra bars and getting our tempo. So that there's no surprises when we pull that chart out of the folder on the gig. So firstly we'll get the tempo. Now if I just set it play, and I've got my metronome set to the tap tempo function. Every metronome should have one. There's some built into most sequencers. I've got a metronome app on my phone that has one, so there's always an easy way to find the tempo. So So I'm getting that at roughly about 115 beats a minute. The song wasn't recorded to a click, or probably wasn't recorded to a click, there's no way of knowing. So it probably fluctuates very slightly, but if you're in about 115 beats a minute, then you're going to be sitting in roughly the right tempo. There's a tendency when you play live to play songs too fast or too slow. So having your metronome on and having the tempos marked is a really easy way of you just getting the right tempo and getting the right feel for the song. So I'll write that in. So that's 115 beats a minute I've just written in. And now we're just going to highlight certain sections. So the most important things would probably be the hits at the start and the fill at the start. Now as you can see, adding a splash of colour to your chart, and the document will be attached as a PDF below, or you can download it, instantly draws your eye to certain figures or certain potential trip-ups or potential problems with the chart, and you'll have that. You can have that in every song. So again, like I said, you're not going to remember 200 songs. So you pull it. Someone calls a chart. You pull it out. You put it on, and you look at it, and instantly your eye's drawn to some color, and you instantly go, "Oh, okay, that's that fill," or "Oh, that's the feel in that particular section of song." And what I'd do is I'd highlight any times. So I've got the middle 8, which is the same 2 bars repeated. I've got the verse, which is 3 bars repeated. I'm just going to highlight in orange in a different color any special specifics, and that is our chart done. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you found it useful. If you've got any questions, please email me at dave@dave-major.com. Visit my website, check me out on Facebook, like my page, or follow me on Twitter, all the usual, and I'll check you next time. Thank you.